Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell. That's right, boys and ghouls. It is Halloween, and I'm here to give you some tips and tricks and a little bit of treats. So stay tuned. Grab your britches, cause they may go down Lundy Lundy style, and let's talk the Thriller. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Losers Club, where we are lovers of all things nerdy. And through this podcast, myself and a select few guests will share reviews, thoughts, passions, opinions, and experiences. My goal is to give all you losers out there something to connect with. Together, we are no longer alone at the lunch table. I'm a loser. I'm a loser.
We're sort of a club. Yeah, the Losers Club.
You want in?
'Tis the season of the witch. 2019 Halloween is upon us, and I'm Nico of the Losers Club. Being the Halloween expert that I am, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and treat on how to have a fun Halloween, doing so very inexpensively. So I hope you're ready, and jot these down if you are a junkie like me and you need something new every year to keep you going. So let's dive right in. Now, when I was growing up, I had 4 siblings, so between the 5 of us, it was very difficult to find something entertaining for all of us to do at a cheap rate. And a lot of times what we referred to have fun during the Halloween season is Monster Vision, and that was hosted by Joe Bob Briggs. And you also had your local TV, late night horror hosts, like you had the Son of Ghoul, being from Northeast Ohio. Elvira could have been yours. It's just things like that always piqued my interest as a kid. Nowadays, you have Freeform, which is formerly ABC Family, so you can turn that on during the Halloween season, and likely Hocus Pocus is going to be on for the kids. So that's always a really fun thing to do. If you want to get a little bit more PG-13 rated, you're going to go to AMC Fright Fest, where they're going to run more of your traditional Friday the 13th. Now, these things are edited all to hell, so just be careful with that. If you're looking to see some titties or some gore, you'd probably want to rent them, but even so, those are always fun nights in. Order up a pie, sit down. You always got something on TV, which is really awesome. And if you're fortunate enough and have streaming services, I really suggest Shudder. It's nothing but horror flicks and horror TV shows. They have exclusive content. Right now, I think they're running a deal up until the end of this month, actually October, where you can get it for $40 for 12 months. Really good steal. It's got some great stuff on there. If you're big into Halloween and you're always looking for something new, I'd give them a shot, because they're always updating content each month, just directly scary stuff. And that is it. And another cool thing you could do if you have siblings, you could scare each other while you're watching these movies and stuff. When I was a kid, my mom used to pay the neighbor, like $5 when we were watching, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was on TNT, and so during a really scary part, she'd pay the bastard neighbor to come over and slam on our windows, front and back door, so we just thought we were getting a home invasion Hush style, and it wasn't fun because I pissed myself. Or, if your sister has a recordable, baby doll that you can say, things, and it records and it'll say them back to you, kind of like Chucky. You could do that. You could do exactly that, because that is what happened to me. I went to bed a little bit earlier during one of these, scary movie-thons, and I woke up to my sister's little baby doll with a big old butcher knife in its hand saying, "Hi, Nick, I'm Chucky. Want to play?" I was in no mood to play. I just went right back to bed, which explains a lot about myself. And to stay on the cinema topic, being from Northeast Ohio, we have quite a bit of drive-ins around us. compared to other states where they show retro films usually throughout October. You can get pretty lucky and find like a kid and adult version. There's one up in Cleveland called Autorama, which is pretty spectacular. They do that annually. You could take the kids for like trunk or treat and stuff like that, where you decorate your trunk with Halloween decorations and there's a prize for the winner. A trick or treat even too for the kids. It's really fun stuff, and there's a few locations now that have all started to catch on and trying to do that, which it's usually a cheap night, $20 for a carload, which is awesome. You can find your, local cinema theaters will play retro showings of like the original Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Night of the Living Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I would suggest downloading Fandango, the app, and just kind of keeping an eye on what's coming to theaters, and you'll be able to see like kind of what movies are coming where and what times, which is really always a good time. There's even the Capitol Theater up in Cleveland that'll do 12 hours of terror, and they've been doing this for years now. I think this was like the 10th or 12th year they did it, but they'll start movies at like 6 p.m. and play them till 6 a.m. It's really neat. It is a marathon. The seats aren't that comfy, but it usually fills up, and it's a good time. So if you're into movies, all those are highly recommended. Great times. Now, if you're more of the type where you like to be out and about during the fall weather, of course you can go on your hikes. You can go to these local pumpkin patches, pick yourself a nice big pumpkin to carve it. Now, as much as I love Halloween and everything related to it, carving pumpkins is probably my least favorite thing. I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't like to fish either. It's something about gutting that pumpkin and then just fisting it with a bunch of goo and gack and everything. It's just, texture is not for me. Pumpkin seeds, however, I'll fuck with that. You also there's Halloween flea markets too. Now, this is something that's more so related to Cleveland. However, with one of the goals of this podcast is to bring stuff like that down here towards the Akron area, which I think would be really cool. But it's just like a flea market. Just everything has got kind of a eerie, spooky feel to it. A lot of jewelry with some witchy vibes to it and stuff like that. Retro films, posters, a little bit of art here and there. It's really cool. You have a lot of breweries that will do like a trick-or-treat flight or, a pumpkin porter or your Oktoberfest. Those are always a good time to go check out those. And stay tuned in the spring. I'll do a lot more reviews on the local breweries as soon as this new Summit Brew Path tour kicks off. I'll review those and kind of let you know. So stay tuned for that. Another thing you could do is search for yard decorations. Now, this is one of my favorite pastimes, is just driving around town, seeing who's fixing up their houses with the lights, the decorations. This year seems to be a lot of Michael Myers in some yards, and that's pretty creepy. Shout out to this house on Chestnut that's got part 2 Michael Myers on it with the bloody eyes coming down, so I really respect that. That was always fun, as a kid seeing those. They used to creep me out. I saw Jason, hanging from a red barn one year as a kid, and it just really stuck with me, and I remember it to this day, and that was 25 years ago. So yard decorations, it's cheap to look at them, and they're all over the place. You just gotta look and just open your eyes. It's fun, man. It's a lot of free, cheap thrills here in Halloween in Northeast Ohio. And now, as an adult, this is probably one of my favorite things to do ever since I really graduated high school. All throughout September, I kind of tell my friends, hey, don't expect me to go out and hang out. I'm not going to grab dinner. I'm not going to grab drinks. And I just save as much money as I can. So starting those last couple weekends in September, I can hit up haunted houses. Now, being in Ohio, last time I checked, there was like 111 haunted houses total in Ohio, which is the largest number by, I think, like 20 by any state. So it really is a nice area to check out some haunts. So if you need some suggestions, just let me know. My best one here, there's 2 of them, but it's Blood Prison this year as of 2019, which is Mansfield Reformatory. Just going down there, and the site of it, it's just eerie itself being in that prison. But the decorations were superior this year. They were top notch. The actors were great. They really got into it. They switched ownership a few years ago, and you could really tell. I mean, it is freaking fantastic. It's scary as heck. Another good one is Factory of Terror out in Canton. That one, you really get your bang for your buck. It's pretty expensive, like $30 or $35, but you're there most of the night. The lines are long, but they're interactive. They've got like stop places where, not like a cafe, but where you can get hot chocolate or coffee or a drink like in between your waits and stuff like that, where they have zombies walking and kind of interacting with the crowd. So it's really really a good time. I always like bringing a party to that one, like a large group of people, just because it's a fun time. And for years, it was the world's longest walk-through haunted house, which is pretty cool. So you're really getting your money and night worth at that one. There's tons of other ones with haunted hay rides and stuff like that in the area. Check them all out. Usually they switch from year to year. A couple of my favorites have closed down in the past. The top one being the Stalker Corn Maze out in Bolivar. Holy crap, that one was great. They specialized in horror movie setups. So the biggest one probably is they have a bunch of clotheslines with linen hanging, and it's splattered with blood, and then all of a sudden you just hear a blah, 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 and it's Leatherface with that freaking chainsaw, and he comes out of nowhere. Oh man, it was so great. They did a tent for Friday the 13th. Even did a coal mine for Harry Warden out of My Bloody Valentine, which was awesome. But that has been closed down for about 5 to 6 years, I think. Really sad. I think they got sued, which sucks, but that was the best one, hands down, around, but it doesn't exist anymore. Sorry. So if anyone's trying to steal that idea and go for that, please do, because I'll be the first in line. That'll bring us to my very final suggestions for cheap Halloween thrills. Now, being located in Northeast Ohio, we have a lot of urban legends. I'm sure you grew up with them. I'm sure your kids grew up with them. And I'm sure your parents grew up with them. One in particular, though, is not an urban legend, but it's the birthplace of zombies. It's Evans City, Pennsylvania. It's a little over an hour drive from the Akron, Cleveland area. And it's the birthplace of zombies, where the original Night of the Living Dead was filmed. It's such a unique piece of movie history, and it's free to visit this Evans City cemetery. They even have a little zombie museum there dedicated to it. And it is just fantastic. It's like $5 to walk through that museum, and it's free for the cemetery. Go get your picture taken. It's such a fun time. It's just super creepy. I always suggest watching the movie like the night before you go out there, but it's a quick drive. The most you're going to spend is in gas money and food. But yeah, local haunts like the urban legends, I'm talking, everybody has heard of the Crybaby Bridge. Now, as a kid, I used to go and, get tortured by these things. My parents would take me and say, here's the story of the Crybaby Bridge, and you could hear, if you get out, you can hear the baby crying under the bridge, and it's just really creepy stuff, but it really set the mood. And it was like Ghost Hunters before that TV show came on. Another one around here is called Seven Barns. It's a really, really neat story about neat, I'm twisted. It's about a farmer who had 7 barns. He had a wife and 5 kids. Well, legend has it that he went crazy one night and he killed all of his family and buried them in each one of the barns. And then in the final barn is where he hung himself, and that is the last standing barn. Now, that is in the, I believe, Peninsula area. There's a lot of urban legends down there, but it's cool just to drive around there and, Google this stuff and then go for a drive and try to, spook yourself into something. It's pretty neat. It's free. The most you're going to spend is on gas and food and snacks and stuff. So there you have it. Have a happy and safe Halloween, and stay tuned for the big giveaway at 9 o'clock. Be sure you have those masks on, boys and ghouls.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horathon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween.